Hello and welcome to Sense Business YouTube channel. Today we will be covering 6.3 Business and the International Economy. So today's lesson's outcome is that we will understand the importance of globalization. We will understand and know the reasons for the importance and growth of multinational companies. We will also cover the impact of exchange rate changes. Okay, before I start this lesson, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to this channel so you get updated with the latest business topics. And watch this video till the end, and I guarantee you will get the highest possible grade in your IGCSE business topic. This is the final video in this series because now I have covered all topics of IGCSE business. So make sure you watch them all to get that A star you really deserve. Okay, so let's begin our lesson. To begin our lesson, I want to talk about globalization is important. So globalization is the free movement of goods, services, and people across the world in a seamless and integrated manner. So globalization can be thought of to be the result of opening up of the global economy and the concomitant increase in trade between nations. So key factors of globalization are increasing number of free trade agreements. So these are agreements between countries that allow them to import and export goods and services with no tariffs or quotas. So improved and cheaper transport, water, land, air, and communication, internet infrastructure. So the internet allows easy price compressions between goods from many countries. Online and e-commerce is allowing orders to be placed from anywhere in the world. So developing and emerging countries such as China and India are becoming rapidly industrialized, so they can export large volumes of goods and services. This has caused an increase in output and opportunities in international trade, allowing for globalization. Now, like everything else, there is advantages and disadvantages to globalization. So the advantages are allows businesses to start selling in new foreign markets, so increasing sales and increasing profit. Can open factories and production units in other countries, possibly at a cheaper rate because it is cheaper materials and labor that is available in other countries. Import products from other countries and sell it to customers in the domestic market. This could be more profitable than producing and selling the goods themselves. Another advantage can be that import material and components for production from foreign countries at a cheaper rate. Now the disadvantages is that increasing imports into country from foreign competitors will mean that firms compete in other countries. It puts up much competition for domestic firms. If these domestic firms cannot compete with the foreign goods, cheap price and high quality, they may be forced to close down their operation. Domestic firms are your local and national businesses, mainly local businesses. Increasing investment by multinationals in home country. This could further add to competition in the domestic market. Although small local firms can become suppliers to the large multinational firms. And employees may leave domestic firms if they don't pay as well as the foreign multinationals in the country. So businesses will have to increase pay and conditions to recruit and retain employees. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of globalization. And now we are going to talk about the potential opportunities and the impact on business. So I've listed all the opportunities here and the impact on businesses here. So I'm gonna talk about an opportunity and then we'll discuss the impact on business. So an opportunity for business can be start selling exports to other countries, opening up to foreign markets. The impact on business this will have is that this increases potential sales, perhaps in countries with fast growing markets. So online selling allows orders for goods to be sent in from abroad. But what you need to remember is that it can be expensive to sell abroad, uh, and will foreign consumers buy products even if they were popular at home? So, for example, a product that is famous in England, will it be famous in India or China? So you need to remember that. Another opportunity for business can be that open factories operations in other countries, meaning become a multinational business. The impact on business can be it would be cheaper to make some goods in other countries than it would be to make them at home. But what you need to remember is, will the quality be as good? Will there be any ethical issues like overworking conditions, child labor, and so on? And it is expensive to set up operations in other countries. It's not always the cheapest option. Another opportunity is import products from other countries to sell customers in home countries. So, for example, importing things from India or China or Malaysia to England. So that's an opportunity for a business, but the impact on the business would be, with no trade restriction, is possible now to import goods and services from countries and sell them domestically. But will the product need maintenance and repairs? Will the parts and support be available from producers in the foreign country? So if these products have been brought in from China, Malaysia, or India, will they be willing to provide support to consumers here in the United Kingdom, UK? So these are things that you need to remember for this opportunity. So another opportunity is import materials and components from other countries but still produce final goods in home country. So it could be cheaper to produce these supplies from other countries now, but now that there is free trade. This will help to reduce costs. These supplies could be purchased online. But will the supplies be reliable? Will they get the things on time for you? Will they not change their prices? Will the greater distance add too much transport cost? So these are some impacts on businesses that you will need to consider. Now this brings me to a summary that I will tell you now. So when looking from an economy's point of view, globalization brings consumers more choices and lower prices and forces domestic firms to be more efficient in order to remain competitive. However, competition from foreign producers can force domestic firms to close down and jobs will be lost. So you need to remember that. Okay, and that's where the protectionism comes in place. So protectionism is a way of government protecting domestic industries from competition that might result in closure. So foreign competitors might be able to produce products much more cheaply, and if they were allowed to import without any restrictions, then local firms might be forced out of business. This would reduce unemployment and incomes. So that's a big problem, and that's why businesses have protectionism. So the government will introduce the following two to stop these foreign goods being imported to the country and to stop and to stop domestic businesses closures. So the government will introduce import quota, a restriction on the quantity of goods that can be imported into the country, and they will introduce tariffs, so taxes on imported goods. So America has recently done that. I don't know if you're watching the news or not, but Donald Trump has done some tariffs on Canada's steel. So if Canada wants to send some steel to America, they have to pay taxes and quota tariffs and so on. So that's all in news. So if you have heard about tariff import tariffs, that's what they are talking about. So imposing these two measures will reduce the number of foreign goods in the domestic market and make them expensive to buy. Respectfully, this will reduce the competitiveness of the foreign goods and make it easy for domestic firms to produce and sell their goods. However, it reduces free trade and globalization. So now we are going to talk about multinational businesses so you understand what they are. A multinational corporation, also known as MNC, has facilities and other assets in at least one country other than its home country. Such companies have offices and/or facilities in different countries and usually have a centralized head office where they coordinate global management. So multinational businesses are some of the largest in the world. They include oil companies like Shell, BP, Exxon, tobacco companies like British American Tobacco, Philip Morris, car manufacturers like Nissan, Honda, Toyota, and General Motors. These are all multinational businesses. So what are the benefits of multinational businesses? You might be thinking. So to produce goods with lower cost, cheaper material and labor may be available in other countries. To extract raw materials for production available in few other countries, for example, crude oil in Middle East. To produce goods near to the markets to avoid transport costs, to avoid trade barriers on imports. If they produce the goods in foreign countries, the firms will not have to pay import tariffs or be forced with a quota restriction. So another benefit of multinationals is to expand into different markets and spread their risks. Another benefit is to remain competitive with rival firms, which may also be expanding abroad. So these are all the benefits of multinational businesses. So now let's talk about the advantages of a multinational business to a country. So what advantages could a multinational business bring to a country? First of all, you guessed that right. More jobs. So multinational businesses will create lots of jobs. So it will increase GDP of the country. The technology that the multinational brings in can bring in new ideas and methods into the country. As more as more goods are being produced in the country, the imports will be reduced and some output can even be exported. So multinationals will also pay taxes. So all multinational businesses will also pay taxes, thereby increasing the government's tax revenue. So government will be taking huge amount of tax from these businesses. More product choices for the consumers. Now, like everything else, there's disadvantages to multinational businesses moving into a country, and these are the jobs created are often for unskilled tasks, so the more skilled job will be done by workers that come from the firm's home country. So the unskilled workers may be also exploited with very low wages and unhygienic working conditions. Since multinationals benefit from economies of scale, local firms may be forced out of business, unable to survive the competition. So multinational can use up the scarce non-renewable renewable resources in the country. So repatriation of profit can occur. The profit earned by multinational could be sent back to their country and the government will not be able to levy tax on it. As multinationals are very large, they can influence the government and economy. So they could threaten the government that they will close down and make workers unemployed if they are not given financial grants and so on. So these are some of the disadvantages of multinational businesses to a country. Now let's talk about the impact of exchange rate changes. Okay, so exchange rate basically means the value of one currency for the purpose of conversions to another. That's what it basically means. So for example, on July 16, 2010, the exchange rate between the dollar and the euro was 1.23 dollar to euro. So this means that to obtain 1 euro, you would need $1.23. Conversely, if you were about to take a vacation to Europe, you could take $1,000 to the bank and receive only 813 euros. So this is what exchange rate basically means. So exchange rates can be fixed or floating. You need to remember that. If a country fixes its currency to that of another country, the exchange rate between those two countries will not change. If a country has a floating exchange rate, the rate between its currency and any other currency will adjust to the market conditions. So now we are going to talk about depreciation and appreciation. So currency depreciation is the loss of value of a country's currency with respect to one or more foreign reference currencies. Typically, in a floating exchange rate system in which no official currency value is maintained. So that's what depreciation is, when the value of money falls. So if England's money pound is depreciated, that means it's fallen the value. And currency appreciation in the same context is an increase in the value of the currency. So if the pound is appreciated, that means the against dollar, that means the value of pound is going over increased above dollar. So for instance, if the Canadian dollar depreciates relatively to the euro, the exchange rate, the Canadian dollar price of euros rises. It takes more Canadian dollars to purchase 1 euro. So 1 euro equals $1.5. 1 euro equals 1.7 Canadian dollar. Do you get what the concept is? And that's what it basically means. Okay, in summary, an appreciation is good for importers, bad for exporters. A depreciation is good for exporters and bad for importers. And that brings us to end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, but please make sure that you answer these 5 questions to help you remember things for exam. So why is globalization important? I want you to explain that to me. Why government might introduce import tariffs and import quotas? What is a multinational business? What are the benefits of multinational businesses to a country? Explain what we mean by depreciation and appreciation of an exchange rate. Could you please make sure that you like, share and subscribe, and write these answers in the comment section below. So this was the final video for this topic, and I hope you success in your IGCSE business studies. Very well done for staying with me and learning with me. I will see you in the future, hopefully. So take care for now, and I hope you get that A star you deserve, and make sure you do as much uh, study as possible to get the highest grade, because at the end of the day I know you can get the best grades. So go and grab them, watch all these videos, answer all the questions, and then go to that exam and pass it. That's as simple as that. Take care for now and very good luck with your exam. Goodbye.